Hey, hi there, everyone. Another episode of NBA Talk with yours truly. I wanted to do something very special today. Today is the 8th of December, Thursday, 2022, and I wanted to mix it up. But what do I mean by mix it up? Well, I wanted to take an approach where I actually compare um, old school, so 90s in my case, versus current players right now. And primarily, I wanted to talk about form shooters and those that really had a knack for shooting and being able to flat out come up big with those scores. And I wanted to do kind of like three old school guys versus three of the new current players that I really think are amazing at what they do. So to start out with, I want to dig into the following three guys, and this is with no specific order in mind that I pretty much had, but I wanted to basically dig in. And with that said, I have prepared a little bit of video footage for you guys. So hope you enjoy this part of our show moving forward. So, first off, I wanted to dig into the amazing Glenn Rice Sr. Now, Glenn Rice was somebody that I definitely enjoyed watching, and pardon me for the, let's say, the effect, or let's say the footage itself. I mean, I really tried to dig in as best as I could. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Glenn Rice is an amazing character, and back in the '90s, he really began his career with the Heat, then moved it over to Charlotte, then bounced around, and then also ended up playing some time with my good old Knicks. So yeah, amazing thing with this guy is I love his form shooting. An amazing jump shooter for one thing. He scored from the 3 point line like nuts and did it with such finesse and such style. I really, even while I was a player myself, I emulated a lot of his shooting, to be honest. And I mean, even to this day, when I do these private sessions, to a point, I really do get into those as well. And then next up, as you can see, I dug into the amazing Allen Houston. Had the pleasure of meeting the guy, had the pleasure of being around him a lot, and yeah, as a player, Allen Houston, again, he's one of those amazing form shooters from the past that I really admired and saw a lot of in terms of the way he shot the ball. And I mean, nowhere similar to what Glenn Rice was, but I mean, in terms of the whole pull up effect that he has. And as you can see over here, I mean, he had very clear form, and I mean, I love the guy. I mean, I've been especially dug this one out. His free throw shooting had been amazingly effective as well. I mean, and still to this day, when I do a lot of form shooting practices myself or give insight on these with pro players or people that are just basically interested in basketball, I dig into what Alan used to work on a lot. Last but not least, Glenn Big Dog Robinson. I mean, this guy could flat out score. I mean, he could jump the socks off of those dunks for sure. But yeah, on another end, he was also an amazing form shooter, had an amazing mid range game, and could get to the basket very, very easily. And more than anything, what I loved with Glenn Robinson was the fact that he had one of the quickest releases that I'd seen in a while. And back in the 90s, I mean, when he used to play against the 76ers, the Grizzlies, the Pacers, where, I mean, Reggie Miller, okay, I mean, he's not, let's say, among the top three list of the oldies that I basically am putting in there. But still, I mean, Glenn Robinson is Glenn Robinson. I mean, they don't call him Big Dog for nothing. And for sure, for that fact, I wanted to dig in deeper into him. Now, with that part cleared out, I wanted to also naturally pretty much kind of like give a scoop or insight towards what I see with the current guys that I basically would consider looking into. And again, this goes without any specific order, but first up to me would potentially be the number one guy that I would look into, and I mean, without again any kind of question in my mind, I think that would have to be the amazing Klay Thompson. I mean, the guy has immaculate form, and I mean, and he's been back from injury even this season right now. Footage that you're seeing right now is from the current NBA season, obviously. I mean, the way he pulls up, as he puts it, I mean, I think it was a couple of years ago when he did this whole form shooting clinic for junior NBA. He recorded a reverse waterfall is what he actually called it, and it's a form which he actually had learned from a coach of his. So yeah, I mean that form of shooting and the momentum that he actually uses to be able to shoot, bar second to none. I mean, again, one of the current modern day shooting guys that can pretty much get his shot off with no problem whatsoever. Following Klay obviously ain't gonna be easy, but at number two, I would definitely have to plug in the guy that pretty much kind of puts it all out there, Devin Booker. And yeah, with Devin, again, an amazingly quick release, more of an in the air shooter, as I would call him. And I mean, I like his form so much so to the fact that, I mean, especially the upper body strength that he has and to be able to control through and basically go through is pretty solid. And I mean, he does a good thing with his jump shooting, especially from behind the 3 point line. He keeps steady pace and steady form, for one thing. And again, uses crazy level of momentum to be able to play the game with. And to another extent, I mean, especially like the way that you see it over here, the way that he can shift in and take any level of, let's say, mid-range shooting is by far amazing. And yeah, we said top three against top three, so we're coming down to the line. And last but definitely not least, who I have in the pocket is Luka Magic. I mean, among all the players that I currently am watching and pretty much kind of looking into, Luka's one guy that basically been at EuroLeague level, but also at NBA level. He plays with a specific ease, and that I think comes from the fact that this guy knows how to shift in momentum gear and use that strength of his of being able to shoot with poise for one thing, but it's also recognizing. I mean, he recognizes when to get into specific movement against a guy like Aiton, for instance, over here. How he is able to get into a step back versus how he takes into consideration he's got a smaller man on him. Still, no distance basically is far enough for the guy. He takes a 3 point shot with ease. It can be close to the logo or not, but he can flat out shoot with ease. And I mean, even though I haven't added possessions of him pretty much driving to the basket, or let's say isolating circumstances, he knows what defender to be able to, let's say, bypass with what type of shot. Could be a jumper, could be pull up, whatever it is. And I mean, it's an amazing, let's say, feat to be able to have, especially at NBA level. So yeah, again, just to kind of like wrap up the old versus the now. Uh, Looking at Glenn Rice was amazing. I mean, love the guy from the past. I mean, if I'd have to compare him to what currently I looked at between the three, I think that would be potentially kind of like maybe a mixture between Clay and Devin, honestly. On the other hand, with Allen Houston, pretty obvious. I mean, I think he's, let's say, uh, I mean, in comparison to what the modern day of Allen Houston should be, it should definitely be uh, Devin Booker. And yeah, Glenn Robinson, I think that is Luca by far. And yeah, I mean, if I'd have to answer this kind of a question, so with modern day NBA, who's the one guy that I really like the most out of the top three? Um, as difficult as an answer that would be, I think I could say Luca. I mean, only for this sole fact though, he's been able to do it on both sides of the pond, and he's been dominant on both sides of the pond, so to say. So that might be the only reason why. But let's say in a more general scheme of looking at just top shooting form, Clay Thompson would, let's say, go head to head with Luca for sure. And yeah, I mean, out of the three, the reason why I actually plugged in Devin Booker was because that, let's say, mid-air shot of his, it's very, very unique. So that's why I plugged it in. But definitely something to always have in the loop and in the mix. Before I do close off for this episode of NBA Talk, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of amazing stuff that I'm going to be getting into, and as you guys are seeing, so I'm going to be digging into footage every now and again, and hope that you even might be able to kind of like chime in, leave your comment, let me know what you guys think in general, and would love to hear more from you guys about your thoughts. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, and love doing what I do. And if you guys have any kind of feedback at all, always love to hear from you guys. Thanks, and have an amazing day.